At the mesa of a mountain, in the land of trickery, we find a forest. Withered trees of dull green and brown pack tightly to paint the scene. Beep! As a thick fog rolls outward and down the cliff sides. A sad state for a forest. Beep! But a perfect place for a hideout. Beep! Beyond the fog, beyond the trees, beyond the illusions, we see a lush forest teeming with life, leading to a village brimming with energy. As the organization responsible for monitoring magical anomalies, beep, and fighting back against the corruption of magic, the clan of Cauldareen won't be caught sleeping. We see teams of agents returning to base via the teleportation circles on the outskirts of the village. Beep! Robotic creatures crawl the treetops of the deceiving forest, monitoring those permitted. And we find new recruits to the clan of Cauldareen. Beware, hard at work on their next mission.
Hi, I'm Myri, she, her, and I play Brutus, the human paladin. This time, I really mean it, no one dies.
Hello, my name is Mustafa. Name's so nice you gotta say it twice. I use he, him pronouns, and I play Tear, the Fallen Star ASMR Druid. You've been my home, Hiccup, and I can be yours.
Hello, my name is Grim Songbird, pronouns they, her, and I am playing Hiccup, the lizard folk werewolf, wild magic sorcerer. My guiding star. Be lost without you.
Hi, I'm Amelia Som, she, her, they, them, if you're nasty, and I play Terex, the Drow Blood Hunter, and no, I still won't be doing that.
Hi, I'm Ivy. I go by she, her pronouns, and I play Ruby, the Fire Genasi Arcane Trickster Rogue. I'm really sorry I didn't tell you all sooner.
Last time on Cauldareen Chronicles, as the invisibility dropped, we saw anger manifested into a spell. Power word kill struck home with Hiccup, bringing their life to an end. Quickly followed up by a chain of lightning, the surprise attack from the halfling Altair almost took out the whole party.
I'm gonna use my reaction and do Hellish Rebuke on him.
Oh, I'm also going to use my action to do Hellish Rebuke.
As fire engulfs the wounded Altair, he breathes his last breath, and the finality of Hiccup's demise sets in.
I'm sorry. They're gone.
I can heal him. Just let me try.
Across the way, a mysterious wolf-like creature manifests, and as its senses come back to it, it sniffs out its party members.
Nightshade, it's me. Wait. I die?
A staff member is held against their will.
I didn't kill anyone in front of her, though.
An office is inspected.
I found a journal, a bunch of money, and a metal tube that unlocked it.
And a familiar scene unfolds as the lifeless body of Bennett erupts with power, and overhead a terrible rumbling is heard. Just another day for the next defenders of this land. Just another day for the Cauldareen Chronicles. And for all of you, you just heard this rumbling up overhead. Ivy, your character Ruby, and Brutus are hanging out in the office right now, and the trio outside were on their way to come talk to you all, if I recall. Yes, we were. What are we doing here, folks?
We were looking through the books on the bookshelf. I had put everything else on the desk that I had gathered, the journal, the money, and the metal tube, and the ledger, because I had also found the ledger.
Has the rumbling started?
Yes, you've all heard it. There's no way you wouldn't have.
Is it still going, or is it just like happen and then stop?
It happened, and there was about probably a good 30 to 45 seconds of just constant.
Hiccup's going to immediately tap both Terex and Tear on their arms, just being like, okay, where are they? We got to find them.
Brutus is dashing. The office is not that far from the exit. I'm just gonna go.
I'm following
that.
after.
Yeah.
Cool.
Running out.
Probably basically as soon as the rumbling started and it was clear it wasn't just like a fluke, just started out towards the exit.
Sweet.
Okay.
Gonna follow.
Stop mid-sentence, gone.
So yeah, you're all rushing upstairs.
Yeah, is Moira following?
Well, you tell me.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull her. I'm just gonna be like, just, pull her with us.
Oh, more.
Yeah.
No.
So
He's not getting paid enough for this.
Yeah.
No.
I literally just gave her 10 gold. Literally, she got paid so much for this.
Yes.
yeah,
let's rush her
Moira
to
doesn't
danger.
want to stay down here because it's been bad, and there's only her left, so she's gonna follow you out. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Cool.
Doesn't know there's murder outside.
So the first one out, then it sounds like would be Brutus. Brutus,
Yeah, I
you make
ran right away. Yeah.
you make your way up the stairs, and as you come up to the hatch, none of you close the hatch, right?
I don't think so.
I think
Nah.
last. Yeah. No.
I don't think
Well,
we had time. to
Definitely
think
did
about
not.
Cool. As you get up there, you look around, and as you come out of that room that you're in, there's a door where you've got those bodies of the folks that were in here. One that Terex had killed earlier, As you come up to that room, you put your hand on the door, and as you open the door open, you are now, instead of looking into the shop, you are looking outside. As
Is the shop
the
gone?
shop has been crushed in places, and an entire sidewall is missing. What do you do?
Step further outside and survey the damage.
So, as you step outside, you can see that this location has had part of the shop just completely wiped out by what you can imagine was a similar situation that you've encountered before. And looking around, you can see some of the taller buildings with massive holes in them. And there is a fair amount of destruction around you. But make a perception check. And are the rest of you up there as well now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everybody make a perception check as Brutus steps out and looks around at more damage.
Yeah, I would have grabbed.
Right.
I would have grabbed the stuff I had put on the desk just as a note. I do have
Okay.
it.
Cool.
That's a 19.
It's nat 20 for a 28, baby.
This will help if I have
Hey.
some dice out, huh?
Okay, can I-
3.
Okay.
Can I use my
Perception.
snoot for perception?
Not you know what? Yeah, go ahead for this, because what it is would entail some of that if I think about it. Yeah.
This is a 14 for Ruby.
Okay.
I forgot my modifier. What are you? Plus 3, 15 plus 3 is 22. 22
Okay.
sniff check.
So we got a 19 for Terex, right?
Mm-hmm.
A natural 20 for Tear, and a 22 for Hiccup. And so Brutus comes out and is just looking at the wreckage, and with that in mind, does nothing. It does not see, this moment. What you three take in is the damage itself seems somewhat muted, as opposed to what you recall, especially what Hiccup and Tear would recall, because they were alive to see it. The wreckage after in the forest took out a lot more than you're seeing here. And as you look around, you spot chunks of large rock, as if shattered or cracked. And with a sniff check specifically, with you actually checking via smell, you smell other people around. And as you turn and look, the wind blows it downwind, and you see someone up on top of a building holding up a staff.
I would like to. How far away is this person?
So this person would be about 2 buildings down and all the way up on the roof of a 2-story building.
Cool. I'm going to use the message spell and send the message to it's a cantrip. I'm going to send it to the party, pointing out the person on the roof. And I'm going to get a little closer to see if I can make out any features of this person before they leave, or hopefully they'll stick around.
Yeah, so okay, so you send that message to everyone. Is anyone else doing anything?
Stepping right on behind him. I'm following Hiccup on this one.
Okay.
I'll glance that direction, but I'm gonna look in the immediate area and see if there's anyone who needs to be pulled out of rubble.
Okay.
I'm gonna look up and start making my way toward that building.
All right, and Ruby?
I'll follow beside Terex, or kind of flanking them. So I'll put the objects that I had taken from the desk in my bag specifically, so I know where they are, and then continue and follow.
Yeah. So to resolve Brutus real quick, as you look around, give me an investigation.
16.
Okay. So in your immediate area, you can see that in this half, how the whole wall and everything's been blown out, the roof caved in, and the knight that you had attacked and put down earlier, while not dead when you attacked, is under a bunch of rubble currently. And then you also see out and about some folks working to pull rubble quickly out, and they're digging frantically about one building away.
I'll go help them.
Okay. And yeah, you can come over, and there are two adults, and they are just quickly pulling through as this man and woman are digging quickly through the rubble. How do you want to help?
She's gonna come up and just, is there someone under there? Making sure they're not digging for possessions before I go look for other people, basically.
Yeah, and the man is frantic, going, my son! And he's quickly,
20
can you hear
strength!
Me? Yeah. Excellent. Okay. So yeah, what are you gonna do here?
To increase the effects of that strength, just grab a piece of wood or something, use it for leverage.
Okay. Yeah.
Faster than doing it with my hands.
Give me a strength check then. And because you're grabbing an item, I'm gonna give you advantage here.
Would this be athletics?
Yeah, we can make that athletics.
I'm glad I had that advantage. So 19.
Okay. So with that 19, you get a piece of wood under there, and they watch as this surprisingly small woman grips a beam and then just upends it. And as you stand it up, the portion of the roof on that building that had flattened in gets lifted up. And there is a small boy under there who the parents frantically grab and drag out.
Oh, all right. Once he's safe, I'll drop the thing.
Excellent. And so, yes, you have pulled this boy out of the rubble. And the rest of you are now approaching this figure that was up on the roof. Hiccup, as you approach, the figure had their hands up and they're scanning, and they seem to be looking back and forth at the sky. And their wand is glowing at the tip as they just move back and forth, scanning the sky.
Okay. Clearly, I do not recognize this person.
Correct.
Cool. Hiccup's just gonna be like, good? You okay up there?
Are you using your voice or message?
Message.
And they'll quickly glance down and they'll look back up, and this person calls back, prepare yourself. We do not know if more are coming. Check to the wounded. And stay out of anything tall right now.
Who are you?
Do you yell that out?
Yeah.
And the person calls down. Who are you?
We asked first.
I am currently the one overseeing that nothing more descends upon this area.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
That's not a name.
I'm Tear.
Maybe just face palms.
And he just very grumpily looks down and says, I am Mila. And
Okay.
Cool. Nima.
Mila.
Mila?
Like Kunis.
Yeah, Milla. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Mila. Sorry, I didn't hear that correctly. Because okay, glow stick, referring to his glowing magic wand. Because we know how what just happened started. Some crazy magic tattoo haywire shit below ground went off. If you're worried about the source. Pretty sure that's the source of what just happened here. But
Are you saying this out loud or message again?
message.
Okay.
Actually, no, out loud, because everybody else has been talking out loud. He's just gonna say this out loud to him, so everybody's on the same page.
Ruby's actively face palming that
Terex
Hiccup is just
like
spilling literally everything.
Look, he's concerned about the well-being of the town. Hiccup doesn't know any better.
What has the town done for us, right?
And
Tear is sorry,
like,
go for it.
So, if you're worried about this happening again, you might want to make sure no more bombs go off to summon it.
and he looks down at you and then kind of just pulls his robe over as he turns, and he seems to disappear from view.
The fuck? Well, there goes
I
that.
like look over my shoulder, see if he's behind us.
Nope, he's not behind you.
Fuck.
Yet.
Yet.
In the meantime, I'm going to say, I hope he comes back. But until then, put my hands together as I cast Summon Beast and point in front of me as a medium-sized ape appears in front of me, and I'm going to have them go assist with the removing of rubble and helping people.
What is it that appears?
A bluish purple ape that has stars covering them.
Cool. Yeah, and as you summon that, and you send it off to go assist with removing rubble, a voice now coming out from the front door of that building opens up, and you hear a voice say, "Smart, can any of you else help with removal? That would be important right now." And Mila has come down the stairs and has now exited the front door.
Like, who are you? Who do you work for?
And he points to the somewhat destroyed sign above that says Fairweather Potions.
Oh.
That's fair. Okay. Well, we're here to help, and I think maybe introductions later, but yes, I also don't think there's more coming. You got the worst of it.
We hope.
Well,
The factory
luckily we
still hasn't
didn't
been
get
dealt
the
with yet.
worst of it. I detected it happening and quickly rushed to look, and with a well-placed bolt, I was able to divide it into smaller pieces rather than allow it to strike in full, but it still
Okay.
wasn't enough to completely eradicate it.
No. That was an oversight. Costly oversight. And Tear at that point goes to help with his ape as well and does whatever he can to help move things, even if it's just hitting them with a thunderclap every once in a while, or
Sure.
trying to physically remove objects with his hands.
And
Cool.
Brutus is probably trying to dig out the guard that she knocked out earlier to see if he's still alive at this point.
Excellent.
Hiccup is going to sniff out more survivors, be able to find them more accurately that way and help dig
So
people up.
you go to do that, and Mila reaches out and grabs you by the arm and says, "Now, what do you mean you know how this happened? What about underground?"
See, this is why we shouldn't have said anything.
I'm just gonna walk away annoyed. I'm gonna go look for Moira.
Make sure she's okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Nope. Take up.
I think you have the right idea of prioritizing the safety of the people first. Let's take care of them first, and then we can resolve this later.
If this is capable of happening again, digging them out won't matter. I don't know how many more of shatters of that I've got in me. There were 4 of them I had to break apart.
So, I can.
Hiccup
I-
nods slowly, and then he's like, "Wait, 2, 5, 4. Okay." She was like literally counting out how many that was. Where it goes, "Yeah, no, that's a lot." Okay. We're also right. Them up won't matter if more could come, but and he just kind of like freezes up a little bit because he's still processing a lot that has happened, which was very recently, and he's trying to keep himself together. He goes, and he like kind of taps his claws together for a sec, and then he looks at Ruby, says, I think I and somebody else can look into making sure no more bombs can go off, and everybody else can help with survivors.
Tara, how about you and Hiccup go try to help with that? I'll handle the situation here.
Okay. I'll turn to my ape and I'll say, do whatever Ruby asks you to do.
Yeah, and there is
Write that
an
down.
ape now that will work with Ruby.
I'm gonna
So
give Hiccup a reassuring like smile. Good.
He doesn't return that smile. There's
She
a
didn't
lot
expect
going
you
on
to.
behind his eyes,
She doesn't
but he
expect you to.
nods in acknowledgement that he does see you.
okay. And as you get to Moira, Terex, you're able to find Moira because she came up and then she looked around at all the destruction and was just sort of frozen. So you were able to go over to her. What are you looking for there?
How are you doing?
Perhaps happy I hung back?
Okay. That's something. Do you want to help me dig people out of rubble while we figure out where the person who's kind of I need to report to gets here?
Yeah, no,
Yeah?
okay.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, let's go do that. Let's go. You didn't have any family or friends near here, did you?
No, I'm on my own.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll be rebel buddies.
And Moira will assist you in digging through rubble for a moment while you try and help out.
Yeah, keeping an eye out for Anna Faye. Where the fuck is she at?
Yeah, valid.
If she's
ask.
alive.
Oh, wait, no.
Oh, I
Don't be
thought about
dead.
that.
You're too sexy.
And
You're too sexy. You can't die.
Hiccup and Tear head downstairs, yes?
And as we start walking down, I'll tap Hiccup on the shoulder and say, "You've been doing really good, and it's just a little bit farther for today." And I'm going to cast Guidance on Hiccup, which is a buff for you, so you can add a D4 to any ability check for the next minute.
Okay. So yeah,
Hiccup flinches when you tapped his shoulder because he's still kind of shook. Says, "Was it enough though, Twinkle?"
It was enough for us to fight another day, and we're gonna. I don't know if it was enough, but all that we had, tried our best, and you fought your hardest. You didn't do perfect. I don't think we ever do, honestly, but we did it together.
He then hesitates for a sec and then takes your hand. Says, "Don't want us to get separated again."
Give it a reassuring squeeze and say, "No, not today." And we'll head down to see what's going on with the underground.
okay. And Mila follows you down and is, "What is this? What is that stormy little halfling?" And he's just
So you
looking
do
at
know.
everything that's down here. I didn't
He's
trust
our new
them.
best friend.
I didn't trust them to begin with. Setting up across, they had no business being in this shop.
Mm-hmm. So you know him then?
Oh, you get to see a lot of people, and you pay attention to who comes and goes near your shop.
Okay, well, so here's the thing. There's a whole lot going on. Don't know if I really can explain everything. The worst of it is bad people doing bad things. We just need to check if there's any residual magic on any of the bodies around here, I think.
I can look for magic. That's something I'm capable of. But what am I looking for?
They've been able to store magic somehow. We just don't really know how. We're trying to figure all of this out. So maybe death triggered it.
And there is, so where are you at? You've come down to the main floor here. You have the left, the right, and forward. Where would you like to go here?
I'd like to go forward to where we'd left the bodies
Cool.
of Bennett and Altair.
Yeah, and smoke is kind of billowing into the room from the burn on the other side of the room.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Mila, there's a fire.
There was a tree that's burning. Don't mind the tree; it's dead.
Underground?
But you can get artificial light. Look, and I'll cast the light cantrip.
What? No,
It's
I
easy.
am aware. And he turns the light cantrip back and says, "But why? Never mind. What am I looking for?"
Yeah.
And his eyes flash as he has cast Detect Magic.
You know the halfling Altair, right?
Yes.
Could you check his body and the body next to him? If there's any magic left on them?
Are they dead?
Yeah.
At least smoke inhalation's got him at this point.
Where?
Right, that room where there's smoke.
Sorry, just looking at Ruby and signing.
And he looks across the way and
But,
then looks back and looks around the room. and just sees all of the things in here. And for a moment, he just is sort of awestruck. What are they building down here? Those are... And that's... Is...
Bad things being done by bad people.
And he looks up at the walls. Very clever. I would have seen this ages ago if not for those runes inscribed in the ceiling.
There's runes?
And with detect magic on, he can see them.
Oh, baby. Corso, do we get Cauldareen badges by chance? Like the Cauldareen logo as a badge? Is that a thing? We got Cauldareen police badges?
There is no such thing as Cauldareen to the rest of the world. You don't exist.
That's right.
You have a little metal emblem that has the sword and the two moons. So if another member of Cauldareen saw that, they would understand. But it has no authority nor meaning anywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was trying to figure out. If they were a Cauldareen member, that might have somehow made it here. But if they haven't reacted to that, then yeah. We heard that there might have been something going on down here. We didn't know the extent of it. We didn't know there would be meteor swarms, I guess, or didn't expect it. Should have, but didn't. And maybe some of this, I'll point to the ink pots or like where the magic would have been concentrated. Some of these might be unstable. That might be our next big issue, but I think those are our biggest concerns.
I'll take a look. And he'll start looking things over. Back outside, the trio that is digging through rubble, everyone roll me an athletics check.
Yeah, baby. Hit him with them nat 20s. Y'all got this.
I got a 13.
Okay.
With my plus 0.
Okay.
I
Ruby?
got
Oh.
Go ahead, Brutus.
21.
Okay.
I got a 14.
Okay. So yeah, with the 13 and a 14, you're able to help move some stuff and help groups of people who are trying to quickly dig, or, you know, hearing a person or two call out for help. You're able to help move some of that. And with that 21, you're heftily able to get some things up sort of on your own a little bit, Brutus, moving less inclined by a group of people. You're just kind of getting things. Not only are you strong, but you're moving intelligently about what you grab to move the most stuff at one time. So definitely that working life coming back into play here. And
Do I need to roll for the ape to see how they're doing, or does care?
the ape's
Okay.
doing fine.
Okay, cool. I just wasn't
it's a
sure.
gorilla.
I was like,
More than
we
a
have a thing. That's
Yeah.
right.
And so as this is happening, you hear a whistle come from behind you all. And as you turn over, you can see Anafe kind of heaving deep breaths and leaning against a building, holding one arm very still down by her side.
Her life.
Do you go over?
I'm gonna let the ape do its thing, like have it continue,
Keep
and then I'm
going.
going to kind of stride over. I don't want to look too obvious, but I'm still gonna stride over there.
Okay.
Are you okay?
And
Looking at the arm.
Anafe begins talking to you and says, bit of a long day, but you know, two's a crowd, three's company, but what's half a dozen? And in Thieves' Cant has just told you things went a little sideways. Had to deal with a full platoon. And says, coming up short, lost track of things. And sometimes the hand's quicker than the eye, they say. And has just told you that she saw Altair and advanced to try and strike them out herself quickly, but Altair had something special, and he vanished before her eyes. Not before setting off a rather difficult explosion to dodge. And she single-handedly took out that platoon by herself, and then withstood that barrage of what she can only assume was meteors.
Oops.
So, looks like things didn't really go simply.
No.
You complete your mission.
Yes.
Okay.
The report is going to be a long one.
And she turns and she slams her arm into the post, popping it back into socket. Oh!
It helped with that.
Well, luckily, it's not my report to do.
Mm.
And she moves over to look at the group of you and says, people will be coming to help.
How are things everywhere else? Have you heard from anyone? Because we have not.
And she pulls open a booklet out of her pocket, and as she removes it, she thumbs through several blank pages, and every couple of pages there's a symbol. There's a different one there. A couple pages there's one. There's two back to back. Looks like we're getting several completed signatures. We should probably mark ours. Be on our way. We don't want to be sticking around too long after something like this.
And you're right. A couple of them are down below.
Okay. Round up your team and let's rendezvous.
Did I hear what the person's name was? I heard it, correct?
Mila. Yep.
Mila? Okay. I'm gonna kind of ask Anifate, do you know a Mila? No.
Doesn't ring a bell, no.
They ran a potion shop and helped stop the meteors, according to them.
Town full of wizards and skilled fighters. It's actually probably one of the better spots to have it happen instead of a small town. People quick enough to react.
All right, I'll get the rest of them.
Excellent. And with that, you've got downstairs, Pear and Hiccup have Mila scanning things over. And Mila taking a look at the cauldrons says, these are stable. They're very curious, but they're still very stable. And the magic on this is clever. I haven't heard of stuff like this. And he advances past that and heads in towards the smoky room. And after a few moments comes coughing out. Oh, God. He's missing an arm.
The tree did that.
I say nothing. I don't say
Magic, am I right?
Oh yeah,
Magic,
the
right?
tree
It's
did
nuts.
that.
You never know.
whose tree is that? Hiccup makes sure that there's no extra blood stains anywhere on his face. Just like discreetly.
The tree did that.
But-
How bizarre.
How-
Whatever.
How bizarre.
Whatever
How
magic they
bizarre.
had on them is gone. There.
Okay.
Oh, and he just like throws up. Oh, they're dead.
Okay,
Very dead.
The smoke is not helping. I think we need to go out until this at least clears. If there
And-
isn't anything else, then I think we're good here.
And He coughs and says, "Yeah," and motions, and he heads out right back out the way you all came as smoke begins to fill this room.
Oof.
Yeah.
I'll turn to Hiccup and say, and trying to keep it away from Mila, but say, trying to not give away much because this is still proprietary, secret Cauldareen information, and I wonder if we should, torch this place behind us.
But if the magic and the cauldrons are stable, wouldn't disturbing it make it dangerous?
Right. Maybe, I
when
guess.
we report back, we need to let them know that a civilian, is that the right word? I call him Glowstick. We need to let them know that Glowstick knows and make sure that they can resolve this discreetly.
You did not.
Yeah.
This person, we left this door open, they would have came down anyways.
Maybe, but they were focused on the people, and I gave him reason to look.
And we would have come down looking anyways, and they would have probably followed us.
Maybe.
We left in a hurry. And you know what? Maybe you would have told them and they would have done nothing. I think hypotheticals are a thing. They happen all the time. The stars align in a way for things to happen how they do. I think he would have come down here no matter what happened. We might have facilitated that. That just means he came down here while we were here to be able to contain the damage and the information that he has, as opposed to just letting him wander around.
And you start to hear coughing from Mila as he pokes back down and says, "Are you coming?"
Yeah. And I'll, as I turn around, take up one more time. You didn't fuck this up. It's a-okay. We all did. But again, we're gonna be able to fix this. And I'll turn around and grab Hiccup's arm a little tighter as we start going up.
Okay. Whistle upstairs for my team.
Yeah, and at the top of the stairs, you can see Ruby as they whistle down, and up comes Mila running past you, and then up come Tear and Hiccup joining you, Ruby.
Everything's stable.
Anything else?
Probably.
I think so.
He says he messages Ruby. I don't know how we're gonna be able to cover this up, but this is something that needs to be discreetly resolved so no more civilians know.
Not your job, but we'll get it. Proud of you. Anything else?
He shrinks a little.
Kind of smiles a little, nodding at it. It's okay. Then out loud. Both cadavers? No.
They're dead.
Okay. I'm going out over to Anafe. If you'll get over to Anafe, please, I'll go get the other two.
Yeah.
And Mila turns around and says, "We can't just leave it like that." And he reaches over and he grabs the hatch and he shoves the hatch that is open down. And he summons up a bit of magic for a moment and then taps his staff down. And you watch as the grooves in the floor seal up as he uses mold earth to make it as if this was never dug open. And
that's
he says,
one way to do that.
"We can open this back up later, but that fire and that magic, it's too dangerous. And you said that caused this?"
Ruby will kind of reach out and put a hand on his shoulder and pat him. How old is this individual?
This is it's a man in about his He has a long, kind of a scruffy beard, and a bit of an older sort of look to them. So you would judge maybe 40s or 50s.
Okay. Yeah, she'll just gently. Thank you. Somebody will be along to help you out with this, okay? We're not going to leave it like that. You have my word.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll just leave it like this for a bit then.
Just keep an eye on it, but somebody will be along to take care of this.
Okay. And he steps away from it, and it kind of throws up again outside, as just kind of the images come back to him.
That poor man's gonna need some therapy. And I'm gonna kind of send Tara and Hiccup to NFA and go find the other two.
Excellent. And yeah, as you all make your way out, NFA looks over and steps up to all of you. And everyone make a perception check. Actually, you know what? No. This is an intelligence.
Ooh.
Oh. What kind of an intelligence?
Just straight intelligence?
Just straight intelligence.
21.
Lovely.
That's
30-20.
That's a 6.
30-20.
8.
Hey.
On brand for Hiccup.
Okay. So there is, as you step forward, there is a ringing in your ears for just a second. Kind of a like after like a bomb goes off, just a ringing in your ears for just a moment, all of you. And with an intelligence check there, both Ruby and Terex are capable of discerning just that tone was in your mind for just long enough that you're able to discern it wasn't in your ears. Like you just felt that.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna
and it was
look
about
around.
It was about 0.5 of a second.
And kind of side glance. The rest of the party see who's got a look on their face that heard it.
Terex has a look on her face.
I don't have a look on my face like I understood it, but we all heard it, right?
Yeah, everyone
Yeah.
for 0.5 of a second had a.
What was that?
And
Isn't it
NFA
just
looks at
ringing
you
from
all and
expression?
says, "You all hear that?"
Yes.
Yes.
And she looks over at Mila and says, "How are you doing?" And he's just, I don't. And they say, NFA says, "There might be more magic at work. Might not be safe here."
Have we managed to at least help out with most of like the areas of Rebel in this like sort of like situation here?
Yeah, anyone
sort of at the end of
here
what
in
we
the area?
can do.
Yes.
Okay.
Evac
Cool,
and
then.
leave then. Is that what we need to do? Make sure that we quarter off this area.
Depends. Is the magic targeting us or is it targeting the place?
Well, I'd hate to stay in civilization and be sure.
But I'd hate to leave it alone and undefended if it needs us.
And she looks around and says, "Can anyone here stop a meteor?"
Then we're better off alive.
Unfortunately, I am not quite equipped for that sort of defense.
Mila, do you know of anybody who's able to around town in case this does happens?
There are plenty of people. I can send an owl.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Did you see a man down there is missing his arm?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That happens.
I'm sorry.
I'm
Just
sorry,
making
wait.
sure it was like regular shock and not like magical shock.
No, it's
Oh, speaking
yeah,
of
I'm
which,
fine.
NFA, this is Moira.
Wait, Ruby's like, had not noticed her. Wait, why is she still...
But she's my excavation buddy. She doesn't have anywhere to go. Can she come with us?
We've just had this happen, as NFA has said. It's best not to be here. What are you all doing?
I listen to Anafe. Okay, so do we have a way back?
And she looks. I mean, we always have a way back.
Can we
It
bring
just
a plus
depends.
one?
Are we supposed to bring her with us?
Well, we can't just leave her here.
Why?
There's some. I mean, we should know more about the operation inside of the place. So
She doesn't have anywhere to go. Just take your death and come join our club. I say, looking at Moira.
And Moira kind of looks at you awkwardly, and
I mean, you don't have to fake your death if you don't want to.
I-
But I just assumed since you had like all that debt, you would want to.
I feel like that's not our MO.
am I being hired for another job?
No.
No. It's an opportunity to work for.
Hang on,
I can't say
Nightshade.
good guy. Yeah,
Is this an MLM?
Nightshade,
be your own boss.
did Moira have any say in this?
I wanted to get permission for. Well, now she has say. Moira, what do you want to do? You don't have to join us.
Okay,
it's
when you
fine.
say now she
Ah.
has say, I don't think this is. I'm sorry. Look,
Well, I can't go back there. You just kind of killed some of my bosses.
Yeah,
and
they were probably kind of dicks, right?
majorly.
Yeah, so
They were awful.
Do you want to work for the side of good and keeping the world safe and all that?
I'm just looking at Anna Faye, just like,
Anafe looks over at Moira and says, "You have inner workings information on how everything worked down there?" And
yes,
Moira
from the factory.
Moira says, "Yeah, I know a fair amount. I've been working here for a few months." And Anafe goes, "Months? Yeah, is that bad?"
No. I mean, it's not. I mean, it is bad,
It's
but
not
not for
great.
you. You were just doing your best.
Okay.
Listen, we all get into bad situations, and sometimes we just need someone. I'm grabbing her arm.
And
Sometimes we just need someone to take us out.
And she just looks over. Anafe says, "Fine, whatever. Let's go." And starts heading away from this area. And she looks to Ruby and says, "Any tree will do. Just a little bit farther outside of this area, and we can go."
Right.
Okay.
Can't save anyone if we're dead.
Correct.
No.
Come on. And I'll start walking, looking for a tree. I'll kind of turn back to Terex and whisper, "You're in charge of her. I'm not writing that report for her either."
I got it. Hey, don't stab me in the back or anything, physically or metaphorically. I don't take that well. I say to Moira.
And Moira goes, "I don't. I'm just bad at
Does she even
cards."
have any weapons?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Take this. I give her a sword.
Why?
You
And
never know.
Moira like grabs it, and it just kind of like flails a little bit in her arm. As it's definitely
Maybe later.
like.
Sword
I
safety manager
can't
Brutus.
deal with all of you right now. I'm looking for a tree.
Fine, I put the sword back. Well, I can't give her the dagger. It's all cool and smoky.
Don't give her anything. Just make sure she has none.
Okay,
How
fine.
about
If shit goes down,
Nightshade?
just stand behind me. I guess I die.
Great. Love that.
I'll take up the rear. Keep watching everyone. Make sure we lose no one. Eye on the sky too.
All right,
Warn
yeah.
us if meteors come.
So yeah, you're able to go through. Yeah, give me this marching order. So we got Ruby up front with Anafe,
Yes.
and we've got Brutus at the back. What's the marching order in between there?
I'll be in front of Brutus with Moira.
Okay, and that means Hiccup and Tear together then.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got we've got two in front. Basically, it's 2, 2, 2, 2, and then Brutus at the back of everything. Okay, yeah, and you're able to find a tree that is suitable for your needs. Kind of getting a little bit farther out of town. Maybe took you, 5-10 minutes of walking to try and get to a secluded area. People do seem to be rushing towards the scene and trying to come investigate what happened, and some look like help is on the way. You've got city guard coming in platoons on their way down. Yeah.
I have a question, because something has stuck out in Ruby's mind, but that's a little odd. Specifically about
This
Anafe.
whole day.
Well, specifically about Anafe. Does she normally wear a logo or anything of Cauldareen?
Anafe?
Yeah.
You've never seen her wear her pendant or anything like that. She operates a lot more low key.
Okay, so what stuck out to me was the fact that she was like, any tree will do, and she's the one who had Ruby go look for it instead of just choosing one herself. Does anything about her seem off to me?
Make an insight check.
Okay. That's 12 plus, what's my insight? 4, so 16.
No, it just seems very frazzled. Definitely looks pretty wounded. Has, like I said, smashed her arm back into place.
Okay.
And you can see that like over one of her eyes is a bunch of like sort of just like blood trickling down, but she's clearly wiped that away. So she seems like she might be pretty tapped.
Okay. I can't do anything about that healing wise.
Yeah.
I can. I have one spell, but I don't think we're out yet, so I'm going to hold on to it.
I would tell you to keep it.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure.
I can't heal.
So yeah, so you find a tree and you're able to do your summoning there. What do you do? Do you open the portal home?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Sorry. I just wanted to do my due diligence to make sure that Anafe was not somebody else that was about to screw us entirely. That's why.
Yeah.
No, it's a good call. Yeah.
Okay, everyone make an intelligence check again. Just a regular intelligence check.
Regular intelligence.
Natural one.
John.
I forgot I have guidance.
Yeah, you do.
Oh
that's-
God, nat one.
That's for a
Oh,
minute,
buddy.
so
So you're
guidance
way
would be
past
gone.
that minute. Okay, fine.
So we got a natural one for Terex and for Tear.
I have to subtract from that. So 15.
Okay.
18.
Okay.
11.
11. Okay. And you all hear that ringing again for like a second this time, like just a breath longer than the first time. And so you hear it again, and Ruby, again with that 18 there, that resonates, that was not something in your ears, that was in your head.
Have I ever experienced anything similar?
Roll. You know what? No, this is an intelligence check. Yes, you have. You have indeed heard an alarm once before in your head. Actually, several times before, different versions and variations.
Okay.
And you have heard Cauldareen utilize alarm systems for different situations.
Do I know what this one means? Have I ever heard this something similar or this one before?
So, this one in particular, the beginning tone of it, basically, you're getting just the generic SOS. But it's like someone played the first clip of it and then turned it off. didn't play the full alarm, didn't play the full SOS. It's like you heard the S and then it was off.
So it's almost like something's interfering with it. I could presume. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
basically you realize that you've heard an S before, and you piece together you've heard SOS before, but you are not getting the full.
Did the one earlier, now that I've realized kind of what it is, did the one earlier sound in the same tone?
It was in the. It was a. The one earlier was a different tone. It was a slightly different one, and you got a pretty high intelligence check then. Now trying to remember that one, it was the beginning of a different the beginning of a different alarm, and it was a malfunction alarm that you got the very beginnings of. And so, which is strange to get like mixed alarms.
I'm gonna look to Anna Faye. What is the look on her face when she hears that second alarm?
Anna Faye has stopped in her tracks and reached out, and she immediately grabs that book and she starts thumbing through it, and she sees more and more mission complete symbols and nothing else. And she looks back and says, "Be on your guard." And she draws her weapons.
Say, Ruby's getting her arm blade ready. Weapons out, Team 10.
Why?
Because alarms are going off that aren't supposed to be.
I'll pull out my quarterstaff.
Is there a different entrance we can take than the one we're expected through?
And
I'm
Anna
mostly
Faye,
addressing this to Anna Faye because she would be the one who would know.
And Anna Faye nods at you, and she says, "Already working on it." And you see her hand starts to glow, and a ring she's wearing, she reaches out and she touches the tree. And as you started to open up a portal, you can never see where it goes. You just see an open hole through a tree, but you know when you walk through, it takes you to where you want to go. And Anna Faye twists it, and you see the knotwork of the tree change just a little bit, and it shifts. And Anna Faye says, "Emergency entrance, upper level only." And she then advances in first.
Oh God! Murder's on the other side.
I hand Moira a dagger.
This time Ruby's gonna be like, yeah,
Just
that's
a regular
okay.
dagger.
That's probably a good thing.
Okay. I'm gonna try very hard to not get you killed. Stay right behind me.
I'm gonna kind of
Hand
before
crossbow, short sword, ready.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna before entering, not only ready my arm blade, but also pull a short sword in the other hand, just to have, and throw back. Nobody die. I don't know what's on the other side, but I need you all to do your due diligence.
Yes.
On it.
Hiccup takes a deep breath, and as he exhales, his eyes shift a little more wolfish, and his claws extend just a little bit. Says, "Copy that."
And I'll step through. Getting the confirmation from my team that they're going to do their due diligence to do their best. I'll step through.
Excellent. And Team 10 steps through the portal. And as Team 10 steps through the portal, who is first leading through? Was that Ruby?
Yeah.
As Ruby steps through the portal, you realize that Anna Faye is in a dead sprint forward as you have arrived in the middle of Cauldareen. As opposed to the outskirts, you were able to port somewhere inside. Randomly, underneath the dirt was a summoning circle that was used to port you directly in the middle of open street. And Anna Faye is bolting down the street. And as you look up, someone immediately tackles you And as they tackle you to the ground, they say, "Get down!" And a wave of fire comes ripping over your head. And immediately you look up. Who comes through next?
Brutus would probably be charging in pretty quick because sword girl, strong.
As you come in next, does a 18 hit your armor class?
Yes, it do.
Okay. And as an 18 hits, you watch as you rush in and something reaches down and grabs you and lifts you up. And you look with one eye missing and part of its face cut up as a troll has you lifted up off of the ground. Who's next through?
Oh,
me.
As Hiccup
comes
through next, you turn and you see this troll up above you and Ruby down to the side. And what do?
Fuck. I'm gonna I would like to yeet some fire in the troll's face.
Excellent.
That is my plan, to yeet fire and be ready to catch Brutus if he drops her.
Okay, what is the fire?
The firebolt, I have to roll to hit.
Okay.
Does a 22 hit?
Absolutely.
Sweet. The firebolt is 2d10 fire damage. Is a cantrip, so no surge this time. That is 8. Does 8 fire damage.
And you blast it in the face with fire, and it panics as it lets go of Brutus. You're attempting a dexterity saving throw to catch them right now.
Okay. Let me see here. My dexterity saving throw is a +1 modifier. That's good. Oh, a dirty 20.
Nice. And as you blast them, Brutus comes falling as Tear steps through and sees the catch of Brutus and a troll leaning back, holding its hands over its face.
Yep. The moment I catch Brutus, I put her on her feet.
Tear, what do you do?
I walk in as well, and as I do, seeing everything happening around me, I am going to step up and bring my hands together as I cast Thunderclap, with both my hands coming together as close as I can to the creature, and see if it can make a Constitution saving throw of 16.
It gets a 12. That is a failure.
12. Very nice. And it gets 7 points of thunder damage.
Excellent.
As I step that and walk back.
And it, covering its face, now hit with a loud sound that hurt. It stumbles back a step as Tarek steps through with Moira.
Okay, before I step through with Moira, I'm going to look at her and say, look, you don't have to come. I was in a shitty situation before I got to Cauldareen, and believe it or not, this bullshit was better than the other bullshit that I had to deal with. So I'm leaving it to you.
Okay, and you step through?
Yeah.
Okay, and you step through, unsure of Moira's answer. As you step through, you see Ruby starting to be able to get up as one of the archers from the clan of Cauldareen's perimeter has tackled her away from something. And over, you see Brutus and Hiccup and Tear facing down a troll that is stumbling backwards with its hands over its face and bleeding everywhere.
Okay, I'm gonna hit the troll with 2 Eldritch Blasts.
Go for it.
Well, with an Eldritch Blast, it's 2 things. Okay. That is, that's not great. It's a 10.
Okay, so the 10 does not hit. And how about the other one?
Well, that's mine. Oh yeah. Do I roll for each beam?
Yes.
Oh.
Because
another 10.
Oh, okay. So you blast twice at it, and they impact, but it doesn't seem to do much. And the troll is holding on. Would you roll a... you have a dagger, right?
Yeah.
Roll for that dagger, please. Roll a d20 plus its modifier.
That's a 9.
Okay.
It's a shit roll. I rolled a 2.
Okay.
Did Moira try her best?
And you watch as the butt of a dagger smacks into the troll as Moira has stepped through and is looking around at the scene. Very, very afraid.
Poor Bean.
And as you have used an emergency entrance, there is no retreat. There is no exit. Now, as you look, Ruby, you're knocked to the ground. Someone dodging you out of the way from a blast of fire. What are you doing?
I'm gonna look up, see where the fire came from. As I'm being tackled down, I want to see where it came from.
And you look, and you see a fire genasi.
Oh.
That looks like your mother.
Cool.
And make a perception check.
Cool. Yep. All right. Please be decent. An 18.
Okay. Give me one small detail about your mother. One small detail about her appearance.
One small detail about her appearance. She has a scar on the upper side of her lip from where she was attempting to create a healing potion and failed, and it blew up in her face, and a glass shard cut her.
Which side of her face?
Right.
This scar is on her left. What do you do?
Well, do I recognize the archer that tackled me down? I was like, oh, get down.
Just
I've
seems
seen
to
him,
be.
like-
You've probably seen him around.
Okay. Doubles? Kind of asking a question to him.
And he turns over and says, "A lot worse than that." And he leans up and starts volleying arrows towards this thing that looks like your mother.
As he does, I'm going to firebolt because I recognize that this is not who she claims to be.
And you firebolt. Roll that firebolt attack.
Cool. It's a plus for the hits, so let's hope it hits well. That is a 17. 13 plus 4.
Okay. 13 plus 4. That will hit. That
Okay.
17 will strike. Go ahead.
That's 2d10, so that's 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 fire damage to this fire genasi.
Okay. And as you strike that down, you see that the 12 damage, it seems to burn this fire genasi pretty badly.
How bizarre.
And that fire melting skin and burning as these arrows come volleying until one hooks it right in the throat. And you watch it grasp and fall. And as it falls, we turn over. Brutus, you were just put down now. What do you do?
Troll. 2 attacks.
Go for it. It is blinded right now because of Hiccup's attack. So
Oh.
let me double check. Unblinded. Sorry, so attack rolls do have advantage against blinded creatures.
All right, so that's a 23 for the first attack.
Okay.
And a 19 for the second.
Okay. And both will hit.
25 damage total for both attacks.
Okay. As you deliver those slashes, where do you cut it?
Going for the Achilles. Want this thing to fall.
And you slash right through the Achilles, and it lets out a cry, and then it falls. And as you see, buried in its back, in the back of its skull, about 30 arrows. And as you all look, now with both of your enemies nearby taken down, and a scared Moira by your side, Terex, you see a storm giant lob a bolt of lightning across, and it lands in the center of Cauldareen, and there is an explosion. And then there is another giant seeming to throw a club around, and immediately what look like the archers from the perimeter come rushing in, and they jump up. Everyone make a perception check.
And with the giants.
To see if we can see the Grim Reaper coming
Damn,
to
I
grab
got
our
only
souls?
5s. That's an 8.
Ooh,
14.
13.
14.
Natural 1.
We're gonna die.
18 for me.
Yes, Hiccup.
Okay.
Thank you,
Hiccup.
Hiccup.
Always on
Thank
high alert.
you.
Oh, Hiccup.
Oh, what?
Oh.
Hiccup.
Oh, what?
With your perception check, you see the archers all swarming in on this creature, and hanging in its hand as it's swinging a club around, it has grasped in its hands the lifeless body of a humanoid creature wearing a very familiar bow and orange and black fur.
Oh, no.
And the archers move in striking, and they step, and you see one of the archers suddenly starts to transform with some deformity as their eye grows larger and their face starts to meld, and they start moving sluggishly as this creature locked its gaze on them, and immediately 2 arrows meet it in the eyes, and jumping from all sides come short swords digging in and slashing this creature down. And this group of archers turn. You see them quickly collect up that body, and they dart off, and a group of them come moving in your direction.
Okay.
And they
so
advance, and they hold up all bows at you. Identify yourselves.
Team 10.
+1.
And one of them looks over at Ruby and says, "Your entrance code, walk it now."
She does so. So 3 the side, 1 back, 3 the side, 2 back, 2 back, 1 forward. Done. She has her hands up the entire time. Blade still in hand and arm blade, but.
And they nod and they go, "Okay." Poppies and doubles moving everywhere. Giant creatures came in like they were ported. Someone broke through. We're not quite sure what's going on, but it's like the training exercises. They're copying them. We need you to regroup with Genji out towards the west. Quickly set up there and return, ready to do this.
Okay.
Copy.
On it.
And you see them advance in towards the city.
I'm gonna, before they walk up, Anafe is also here, just so you know.
And they nod and they make different motions and they scatter, quickly scaling buildings with the spider climb ability that some of them have, and the others moving quickly and stepping into a shadow and vanishing as the archers of Cauldareen are fighting back. And you have been told to head out towards the west to link up with Genji.
Yep. I'm gonna look to who I have. Get in a position, battle stance, have each other's backs. I'll look to Moira. Somebody get her something, just in case.
I give her my other dagger. Okay, don't throw this one. Just use it for self-defense if something charges you. That's the only one I have left. Well, I have my cool one left, but I don't want to give that one up.
We stick to
Okay.
the side of the buildings in the shadows. We don't want to be out in the open.
And Moira says, "I'm actually a little better with a bow." And she steps over, and there are bodies in the area, and she grabs a bow and slings a quiver over herself.
Oh,
Okay, Moira, let's go.
okay, cool. Good.
My parents were really big into archery.
Fair. All right. Well, you're on range attack then.
And Moira
Shadows.
moves
Go.
with your party, and your party advances, getting through Cauldareen, and you can see exactly what they were talking about as storm giants hurl bolts of lightning. And you see a familiar image in the distance as a giant boar comes rushing forward, and on it is a satyr riding it, and hurls a hand like this, and magic comes bursting off, its blasts of energy come off, and animals come rushing to Mel and Odie's aid as they are heading into the fray. As you keep passing and advancing, you see a creature rushing in your direction. But before anything, make a perception check, group.
Oh no!
Also, I'm going to
This is worse.
as we're on the move here, I want to activate both my divine sense and give Oliver access, because he was able to tell that like that one dude wasn't human before, so like maybe he
Absolutely.
can help me spot doubles.
Absolutely.
What was
And
that? It was a perception?
perception check. You have advantage on all perception checks while Oliver is open.
Oh. That's good.
Got a
All right.
23
Second
for
one
that
is
check.
better.
Okay. So, 23. What do we get for Hiccup?
13.
13. What do we get for Amelia? What'd you get for Terex?
7?
You said an 11?
No, 7.
7. Oh, no. Okay.
I've just been rolling worse.
And how about for Ruby?
12. I'm
12?
too busy making sure the rest of you are walking.
And Brutus?
17.
Okay. So, for Brutus and for Hair, with that high enough glance, first off, Brutus, your divine sense, as you're advancing and a creature comes barreling in your direction now, you see it covered in blood all over its hands, and you sense undead energy off of this thing. But with your perception, you also look up and you see the wings of an Aarakocra diving down. And there is a screech heard as Team 7's leader calls out, and you watch as this creature then turns, and flying in at a breakneck speed, you watch Team 7's leader withdraw their sword and turn and swing behind them in midair. As they are 30 feet up in the air, they're swinging at nothing as they vanish in a puff of smoke. And as that mist reforms right behind this creature, they have misty stepped behind them and slash through with a divine smite, hacking the head off of this creature.
I was gonna use that. It's fine.
And they turn and they charge and they look around, and you see more interesting little beings coming and rushing at them. And as they take off to the skies, the floor caves in from underneath as a badger comes and grabs those creatures and pulls them underground and begins to mash them and burrow them deep underground. And you see a Kenku running along the rooftops, tracking its leader as the rest of Team 7 has made themselves known, moving and advancing out.
I'm gonna give them a little nod on the way.
And they'll turn and they'll look at you, but without any verification, they keep flying forward.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
As Hiccup keeps running, is there a tiefling with that group by chance?
Not with that group currently.
Oh, currently, okay.
And so you are nearly to your destination. And as you make it to the edge of the west end, you can see several folks set up and posting. Several archers and other members are ready to rock and roll over there. You can see that member with the white hair, the changeling from earlier, who has set up there and is currently holding 2 daggers ready to fight and defending this area. You have reached your destination. What do you do?
We're here to help.
And
He's Genji here.
the white-haired changeling looks over and his eyes flash for a moment and they glow bright as he looks over at you. And he looks over each and every one of you and he nods and he motions behind him.
Side baby.
And as all of you rush past, you are able to head back. And there, in the woods behind them, several archers are up, posted above. But as you were given clearance, they just point their bows and follow you. But no arrows come flying as they monitor you heading in. And into the clearing, you turn and you see Dungeous wave. And he sees you coming and he says, "Thank God you're safe. Come. Get yourselves ready for battle.
Oh,
We have
okay.
a fight." And Dungeous dips off as Genji, fading out of the illusion of being just one of the rocks around you, makes themselves seen as the illusionist has finally appeared. Yeah.
We don't just have a fight, we have a massacre.
And Dungeous says, "And they're using my tactics, my friends. It's as
Well-
if they've been through this."
Yes, But I've been saying there is someone who knows about us.
We're aware of that, but not only do they know about us, they're using some very underhanded tactics. Specifically,
who used to be part of
mimicking.
Cauldareen who hates it?
I can't think of anyone who hates us more than most of the folks we've killed.
Has to be somebody who was one of us.
And he withdraws his staff that he once let you see during the initial training round, and he digs it into the ground. And you can see that this has been done several times around this area. And he says, "My friends, it is time that we take the fight back to them. Hold on."
Gonna hold on to that, baby.
And do you all grab the staff?
Yep.
Yeah.
Last time we did this, it took us into an illusion.
Illusions have a funny way of convincing the mind that they're real. Sorry, let's get that voice. Illusions have a funny way of convincing the mind that they're real. And sometimes that can be deadly. But in this instance, we need it to be advantageous.
All right. I'll grab the
Let's do
staff.
this.
And as you do, and he motions to Moira and he says, "Everyone." And Moira, and she reaches out and she grips the staff. And he says, "You'll only be able to withstand this for about an hour, maybe 2, tops, my friends. Fight hard." And power surges through you as every bit of injury, every bit of tiredness, every bit of limit in your mind is released. And you feel right as rain. You feel damn good. You feel like you've just jumped 2 levels. What? And that is where we stop our mid-season finale, everybody.
So, okay.
Except, you know we can't end without getting us an excellent, excellent little moment. Some time ago, we see a charismatic half-elf making a motion and discussing something with a storm giant who's bleeding out on the floor. And as this half-elf smiles standing on its chest, it offers it something. And in that look of fear in that storm giant's eyes, there is no other choice. And it jumps down, and the half-elf strolls out of the room. We see a troll underneath a bridge where it is constantly pestering travelers. And we see a half-elf walking across that bridge. And the troll comes out and reaches. Yet now no one is there. And the half-elf standing underneath the bridge says something to the troll. And again, it reaches for him. And missing, he digs a dagger into its back and breaks it off. And for a brief moment, as that dagger went in, we saw a symbol carved into the blade, and it snapped off. And we see this half-elf building all sorts of interesting vials and taking them into a bag. And then that day, when they nodded it was time, and the piece of paper with the symbol they drew and Jarvis's symbol flew. They vanish. And the same symbol on the dagger inside of the troll glows. And that troll vanishes. And the storm giant, getting a summons, steps inside of a circle and vanishes. And somewhere deep underground, several eyes open. And twisted faces of these humanoid, plant-like creatures start clambering out of the ground. And 6 sets of eyes open up somewhere else. And they hear one thing only. Cauldareen needs you. And that is where we end.